Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar today. We at GemAtlas are glad to have three great speakers with us today. Tehmasp Printer, Dipu Mehta, and Arnav Mehta, who will be talking about lab-grown diamonds and are they validated by the consumers globally. A bit about our three panelists are that Tehmasp Printer is the managing director of IGI India. His initiation into the gems and jewelry fraternity introduced the concept of diamond grading practices to the Indian market. A breakthrough under his direction and guidance was the introduction of mobile labs. IGI's position today is the result of persistent curation and a relentless uh, proclivity of excellence. Dipu Mehta is the managing director of ORRA Fine Jewellery. He has been instrumental in pioneering Crown Star, which is a signature cut of ORRA with 73 facets and brighter than regular diamonds. Mr. Mehta's enthusiasm for marketing, merchandising, and his pursuit for innovation resulted in the creation of the ORRA Crown Star jewelry in 2003. Arnav Mehta is the managing director of Star Blue Jewels. He has been overseeing his 56-year-old family business in this industry and is focused on global distribution. He now has spearheaded the development of laboratory-grown products vertically across the growing, polishing, and marketing of diamonds. He has started a parallel group, Star Blue Global, to look after the interests of the family in the laboratory-grown diamond business. GemAtlas is a global B2B networking platform for the gems and jewelry industry. We have over 100,000 members, over 150 countries. Recently, GemAtlas launched a diamond demand app called GA Demands, which helps users connect with the right suppliers for natural, lab-grown, and parcel diamonds domestically at no cost. With several features already available, we have also recently launched a knowledge section for all industry insights, access to our webinars and articles at your fingertips. The app currently is only available for Indian mobile numbers, and we are soon updating to make it grow further internationally. At the end of the webinar, there will be a Q&A session. Please put all your questions in the Q&A section on your screen. We're so glad to host this panel discussion. So let's first start with the building blocks of this topic. What are lab-grown diamonds and how are they different from natural diamonds? Dipu, would you like to take on this question?
So, first of all, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Prithvi. Hello, Tehmasp and Arnav.
Hi.
I'm glad to be on the panel with you guys. So, lab-grown diamonds are diamonds in the end. When we look at diamonds, what are the features? The hardness is the same. The reflection is the same. Except the difference between the lab-grown diamond and a natural diamond, mined diamond, is that the one comes from the earth and the other is either grown in the laboratory or pressed in a machine, which is HPHT, high pressure, high tension.
Okay, that's a great answer. Tehmasp and Arnav, would you all like to pitch in on that, or do you think that that's...
From a laboratory point of view,
yeah,
there's absolutely no difference between lab-growns and natural, like Dipu mentioned. The crystallography is also the same. That carbon is the basic element which exists in both of them. And there are only two substances in this world which measures on the scale of 10, on the Mohs scale at 10. One is natural diamond and the other is lab-grown diamond. So even the hardness is the same. All the other elements don't have the 10 on the Mohs scale hardness. Okay. So from one perspective, both are real diamonds, and the only difference is that one is earth mined and the other is grown in the lab, period. That's it.
Okay, that's good. And what would be the most fascinating aspect of a lab-grown diamond to you, Tehmasp?
See, both are diamonds. Yeah. Diamond is a luxury, and of course, one is very passionate about the natural substance. I mean, it is made over 1 billion years, or maybe more than 1 billion years, while a lab-grown diamond is made in a few weeks, probably.
Yeah.
And also, there is a price disparity. Lab growns are technology product, so obviously they can be sourced more economically than the earth mine, which is a rare item. It depends on the quality and the size of the diamond of the natural one, where it makes a difference in the price point. So it depends on how much money you have in your pocket and how much you would like to invest, and that's the way you go about it.
Okay, great. When and how did lab-grown diamonds gain its popularity? Arnav, if you would like to take that.
Sure. So first, let's take a step back. Natural diamonds have been there for in existence amongst humans for over 1,000 years. They were first mined. They were first found in India, actually. One of the first few diamonds were actually found in Middle India, and it's been associated with royalty. Throughout those generations, because it was a very rare sighting. Now, when did lab-grown diamonds come? Actually, if we go through history, it was back in the 1940s that General Electric tied up with De Beers and started investigating how they could create laboratory-grown or man-made diamonds at that time. It was part, actually, while the atomic bomb was being constructed and thought of, at the same time, they were thinking that even with hardness, because diamond being the hardest substance, can we do something with diamonds, weaponry, usance of it for the future for different purposes? And that's when General Electric and De Beers got together to start thinking about lab-grown diamonds. And it's actually been going on since then. So the first lab-grown diamonds were actually produced back over 70 years ago. And obviously, it was an expensive affair. It wasn't even near the cost of what mine diamonds were coming for. And technology was not there at that time. But it's taken 60, 70 years to evolve. And today we are at a place, at a juncture where it's become much more efficient and economical. Our technology is improved as a humankind. And today it's much more accessible. It has the same values, properties like Tehmasp and Dipu said, the same as a natural diamond. That's why I still refer to both of them as real diamonds. And you know how technology, for example, in the space of pregnancies happened, with IVF babies coming in the last 3 decades. It is a kind of a similar concept. Technology has helped us take something natural and evolve and use our technology to make a man-made product. So there are a lot of similarities to that analogy that we all use in the trade, and I don't think we are very far from it, because the actual process is the same. We are taking a natural base and trying to create a man-made product on top of it. So where did it originate? It's like the chicken and the egg, and like in all laboratory grown diamonds, the original seed was of a natural diamond. That's what we built on. And we should marvel human technology and human endeavors for this. And the beauty about this product, coming back to you, is the fact that it is today, I wouldn't call it, it's everyday luxury. It'll be available, accessible, affordable for all. And that's the beauty of any product that humans have endeavored for.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
I'd like to add one thing. I mean, humankind has taken 3 billion years and compressed it into 3 weeks. And that's the marvel of humankind and creating the same product, basically. So, I mean, that's kudos to humankind.
Yeah, I think that's a really good answer. Like, the way you've really put it forth over there. So Dipu, what factors might have changed the consumer's mindset towards lab-grown diamonds? Because, I mean, as you know, that before, as Arnav said, that before it used to just be natural diamonds, and now everyone's kind of like moving towards the lab-grown phase. And how you said that it's compressing 3 billion years of history into 3 weeks. So what might have changed that entire part of the consumer's mindset to actually go towards, let's say, lab-grown diamonds?
So we see it constantly. I mean, we are seeing the the benefits. People are looking at the benefits and looking at their pocketbook and saying, okay, when they were able to buy a 1 carat for 4 or 5 lakhs, now they can buy the same for about ₹1 lakh. So it's much more friendly for the pocketbook. De Beers has done a fantastic job in the past of marketing diamonds to, as a symbol of love. Now, the symbol of love, be it mined or natural or lab grown, is accessible to more people. So that has, every young bride or every young person who's getting engaged in the West, and even more increasingly in the in India, are always wanted and always desired a diamond.
Yeah.
Now they have the ability to with lab grown diamonds to have the diamond of their specification, and which are much more accessible than before.
Yeah, that's really true. That and like, from conversations that you've been having with consumers, what perceptions of consumers are moving towards lab-grown diamonds? So Deepu bhai or Arnav bhai, I mean, if any of y'all have been talking to any.
So in the United States, I can share some data with you.
Yeah.
The largest retailer there has conducted a lot of surveys in the last quarter, and their data right now is quite surprising. They're claiming that more than 50% of consumers who are getting engaged for engagement rings are considering a laboratory grown diamond.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're buying, they're considering, which would have been less than 20% a year ago, and probably negligible 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And the conversions, for example, on the online spaces is even as large as 70-80%.
Yeah.
The companies who are selling both natural and laboratory grown diamonds. So this can show you what the consumer trends are. This is in the United States.
Okay.
The acceptance in the rest of the markets are also increasing every day. In fact, this morning I had a customer over, and I was surprised to see my own data. For the last 2 months, we've had more than 50% sales of laboratory grown diamonds outside of the United States. So this is just data that I'm sharing with you at a personal level, but of course, it's growing, and acceptance is increasing globally.
Okay. Okay. That's really good. And what, so how is the average consumer in India accepted lab grown diamonds versus what you see in, let's say, international markets? If Thems, would you like to take this up?
The thing is, it's everybody's aspiration to own a diamond.
Yeah.
Now, with the advent of lab growns,
Mm-hmm.
more people are able to satisfy that aspiration than before. But having said that, the West has always been conducive to innovations and have always taken a step ahead of the more traditional countries like India. And today you see that, like Arnav said, like, a lot of couples who are getting married or getting engaged, they're actually considering, and 50% is a huge number that has transpired in the last 1 year. And in India, I'll tell you, we are very adaptive.
Yeah.
There is a perception that natural, I mean, we also believe in astrological signs and stuff like that. And so what actually happens is, maybe the traditional segment of the Indians, since you're asking me this for the Indian market, would still prefer to go for natural, However, the millennial generation, and these are the guys who are getting married and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They do a lot of research, and once you've done your research, then what happens is you can take an informed decision. And I'll tell you one thing. See, there is absolutely no difference between a lab grown and a natural. So what essentially happens is that even a gemologist with 10 years, 20 years old experience, without equipment, without the scientific equipment, cannot differentiate between a lab grown and a natural. So transparency is the key word.
Yeah.
When you have transparency, and then you get it is extremely important. I know I'm just touting a little of my own, that it's extremely important to get your diamonds verified and certified by a certifying body like IGI, where you have peace of mind. You know what you're getting. After you purchase, please don't come to me, because then the purpose is lost. But before you purchase, and I'm telling you, all the millennial kids do such a lot of research, they know exactly what they want. And when they zero in, I mean, all they have to do is get a certified diamond on your finger. And then it all depends on the amount of money that you have in your pocket. See, as a growing couple, you may have 50,000 and you want to invest 5,000. Yeah. So you probably go in for a natural. I mean, I'm just assuming, When you have 500,000, you want to go in for the natural. So it's basically how much would you like to, you have a fake Gucci and you have a real Gucci. Now, in diamonds, there is nothing fake about a synthetic diamond, about a lab-grown diamond. It's a real diamond, So there you have the advantage of owning a real thing, only it is man-made. Yeah. Now, for the last 150 years, people have been like ingrained that, it's a natural diamond, it is earth mined and whatever. Now comes a new kid on the block and it's making his way into the roads. I feel that a parallel market exists. Yeah. Both survive, both complement each other. And in India is not very far behind. Maybe today the West is ahead, but India is not very far behind with the information technology going rampant to all corners of the globe. People now become aware of everything. So I don't think that it's going to take a number of years for India to get onto the bandwagon. And maybe a year and a half, I'm hopeful that there are two products which are now there for the consumer to choose and select.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And speaking of two products that of the consumer choosing, are there any trends that you're currently seeing in the lab-grown diamond market and that you foresee in the coming years? This could be shape, size, color, clarity.
Sure.
And as you might know, in natural diamonds, it's whatever comes from the mine is what you have to produce. In lab grown, you can actually choose what you want to produce. So do you see any change in any of these factors? Arnav, if you would like to take that up.
Sure.
And sorry, would it also increase turnover? Because what you in natural diamonds, whatever you produce and might not be of a certain clarity, a certain color, it kind of is just left with you in stock that's a little hard to sell, which reduces your turnover. In lab-grown diamonds, do you actually see that not happening?
Sure. So let's see how both the businesses are. The natural diamond business, whatever like you said, whatever is mined is what we have to produce, and what we think is the best fit as a manufacturer is what we produce.
Yeah.
With laboratory grown diamonds, we can grow what the consumer trends and demands are. That is one part. So that is to do with sizes, shapes, colors, clarities, but that's not it. It has a much wider scope. There's so much of customization today happening. Today, you want your name in laboratory grown diamonds, in 1 carat laboratory grown diamonds, that can be produced. Anything that you can conjure in your mind, the creativity will come in. So what I love about laboratory grown diamonds is it allows the diamond business and the jewelry business to become creative again, which we had lost over the last 30, 40 years. You know, De Beers tried a lot to come up with new campaigns over the last 2, 3 decades with new marketing campaigns. But at the end of the day, it was a very solitaire driven, driven, you know, diamond focused and less creativity focused marketing. Today, with what laboratory grown has to offer, we can widen those horizons. Yes, natural diamonds has created a pathway that a diamond is a luxury product. It's a product everyone aspires to have one day, natural diamonds. But even laboratory grown diamonds allows us to bridge the gap between the whole population of the world. We have 8 billion people. Less than 1% of them own diamonds today. What about the rest? Let's make it more accessible. This is where laboratory grown has the biggest opportunity. And we actually, as the industry, we're sitting on a gold mine or a diamond mine with lab grown diamonds, you know, the opportunity here. And so let's not waste it, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
With the opportunity of the creativity and obviously and the creativity and the innovation that will happen, jewelers can take advantage of that, you know, like and take advantage of that, and because they can give the customer things that they could have never imagined, colors, different shapes, sizes that they previously aspired to but could never afford. So this gives a lot of opportunity for jewelers to satisfy customers' needs in all their diamond needs through various the various shapes and sizes as such. So I think the the acceptance and in India especially is increasing day by day. People are realizing that they could never afford diamonds that stuck to gold jewelry. Now they say, okay, for the same money, a little bit more, now they can afford a diamond jewelry, which was always their aspiration. So it's a trend that's willing to stay and going to stay for sure. And obviously, if that trend stays, jewelers can take advantage and make a decent margin on these products.
Definitely.
And charge the appropriate price. Sometimes there was a lot of price pressure in natural diamonds from oversupply, undersupply, or whatever. But now, if I give my customer the shape, the size, the color, the clarity that they want, I can charge a fair price for it and make money for myself.
Definitely. So that's actually a great point for jewelers. Any other benefits that jewelers might get by selling lab-grown diamond jewelry?
The thing is, because of the heavy cost on natural, people, the new generation were actually moving away from diamonds. They were more into luxury brands like Louis Vuitton. You buy a Gucci dress or a Louis Vuitton item, next season is outdated. Yeah. You spend $5,000 on a thing which gets outdated, and diamond is forever. Yeah. I think that the lab grown is actually bringing the consumer back into the diamond fold. See, the entry barrier, which was very high in the natural, has now been lowered to a considerable extent, where a consumer can actually think of owning a real diamond. It may be a lab grown, but it's a real diamond. Okay. Tomorrow, when he is also growing, he or she is also growing and doing well and all that. So what has essentially happened is there is a big chunk of consumers being brought back into the diamond world due to lab growns.
Yeah.
So that's a very important aspect for all of us. And transparency is a must. Because of the price disparity, the consumer has the right to know that it is a lab grown and this is a natural. And again, I'm saying, it is extremely important in this market, especially when identification is extremely difficult, to have validated your jewelry piece or your diamond by a laboratory like IGI.
Yeah. Definitely. Actually, I was going to ask you, how is IGI thought about grading lab-grown diamonds, and like what steps are taken to differentiate natural and lab-grown diamonds? If you could, tell us a little bit about the process, or something along those lines.
See, the process for grading is the same because the product is the same.
Yeah.
It's the identification of the origin. That is where the challenge lies, And as a laboratory, of course, we have the equipment and the expertise because, it's not necessary only to have the equipment. You have to have the expertise, and the knowledge how to run that machine. So the only difference is in the identification. Otherwise, the grading process, the grading parameters remain the same. Understand that. Having said that, 7 years ago, when with the initial advent of lab growns, 95% of the jewelry piece that we would receive were contaminated. In the sense, we would receive the jewelry piece as a natural diamond jewelry piece. And then even if you find one or two lab growns, it's a contamination.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying 95% of that particular jewelry piece, there were some of them, but I'm saying 95% of the jewelry pieces received and screened by us were contaminated. Today, the contamination is less than 1%. And this transaction has happened. Why? Because, when you're trying to palm off an item, which is costing you much less as a natural, and then you see that, sorry, this is not happening. We are being caught. We are the police, we're being caught. So today it's less than 1%. It's less than 1%. And these 1%, and I'll tell you, they are mistakes. They're not intentional. See, there is a difference between a mistake and intention. So today, I believe all the certified, I'm talking about the certified stock.
Yeah.
If it is not certified, when somebody tells you that, oh, this certificate is not necessary or whatever, that I'm not accounting for. That is outside my purview. But certified stock, for sure, is there, and we're doing a damn good job of differentiating, and the people at large know that this is what is happening. So it's very important. Again, I'm saying, in a case of lab growns and natural, please buy certified jewelry.
Yeah.
And diamonds. Then the purpose is served. Your money is assured. You're paying what you're getting.
Yeah.
That is very important. If you're paying a huge sum and you're getting something else, it's your ignorance, and you can only blame yourself for it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to add something to Tehmasp's answer. It is very important, as he said, to know what you're buying and where you're buying it from is also a very big factor. To buy a value of a diamond is basically, in India, a lot of this value of a diamond is based on the buyback policies of the retailer. So it's very important that, you want to ensure that you know what you're buying. So you buy a certified piece of jewelry and that you buy it from a reputable source, a reputable retailer or a wholesaler that gives you a certified diamond and has a buyback policy that is clear and cut. That will ensure the success of both markets, both the natural as well as the lab grown, because that transparency, as Tehmasp said, is the most important part for our industry. And when you buy fruits, you want to know, you know that the fruits from Kashmir are very nice, that or the fruit from Holland is very nice, but you want to know what you buy, right? So it's very important that for the origin to know that this is natural or certified, I mean, natural or lab grown, and you buy it from the right place, the right retailer, the right supermarket. I mean, I'm just giving an example, but it's very important. And once that happens, I would see that the both natural and the lab grown markets will expand, because the aspiration is there, and both are available.
See, I'd like to add what Dipu said. See, it is actually very important to buy from an establishment. See what happens is an establishment which has been there is not a fly-by-night operator. They are in the business. They were in the business yesterday. They are in the business today, and they want to be in the business tomorrow. So a consumer's right is protected more than, see, in India, we are a manufacturing country, we are a retail country, we are a growing country. See, in India, we can do everything. So here especially, it becomes very important to buy from reputed players. Because then at least, you are assured there is some, I mean, of course, there can be anything, but there is some sort of confidence which is given to you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're buying a lemon. I mean, he was talking about fruits and vegetables, but means, yeah, you get a lemon in your hand and then you say you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Arnav is the king, huh? Arnav, I think, listens to the consumer the most. I've interacted with Arnav, and he is constantly thinking what the consumer wants. He's not thinking what he wants. He's thinking what the consumer wants. And I've seen that, not only in lab growns, but over the years.
Yeah.
Actually, when we are discussing this topic of one is the part of transparency that we are discussing overall. I think what the lab grown diamond industry needs is transparency. And what do I mean by transparency? Tehmasp and Dipu put it very right that one, the establishment has to be permanent. It has to be a long-serving establishment which is reputed. That is one side of the transparency. This gives a kind of assurance to the consumers. But the other transparency to the consumer that the establishments need to give and what the consumers want is actually about what is this new product? Is it what kind of money am I going to get back? Is there a buyback policy? Is it going to hold value? These are the questions that are in the minds of consumers most. And this has to be transparently answered by the establishment also. How are they going to deal with these two things? One is to do with, is there a buyback policy? What is the buyback policy? Are you going to allow me an upgrade? What price will you allow me the upgrade at? What is the value of this product after 5 years? And I think this is where the largest challenge of acceptance of lab grown is lying with the retailers and consumers today. And what Tehmasp said earlier, I think I'll bank on those words, that a diamond is forever, both natural and laboratory grown. So when it is forever, why are we questioning whether it has value or not? It will always hold value. What is the value is dependent on a lot of factors. In the case of natural diamonds, it depends on how many mines are found or how easy is it to mine. The easier it is to mine or the more the mines are found, the supply will go up and the demand, against the demand, and prices will fall. It's simple economics 101. With lab grown diamonds, for example, if the energy costs go up, if inflation happens in countries like India, what is happening, where there's double-digit inflation, even in America today, the cost of people is increasing, the cost of energy is increasing. We know all our electric bills around the world are skyrocketing upwards. Costs over time of lab-grown diamonds will go up. Who is to say not about that? I'm not saying buy it as an investment. I'm saying the transparency needs to be there of what are the characteristics of both these products. Even when somebody buys gold, Nobody knows tomorrow, is it going to be $2,000 or $1,000 or $200? It's all a function of demand and supply. Oil, the same thing. It is the same thing. We are an ingredient. So let's take the conversation away from the part of whether it is an investment. Let's talk about this product is a beautiful product. Let's talk about how accessible it is, how it is something that everyone wants to aspire for, and let's change the focus. And yes, along with them, give them the correct transparency of what are the pros, cons, differences in all products, including gold. Whether it is gold, whether it is natural diamonds, whether it's lab-grown diamonds, all can have their cycles. And that is the transparency that we need to share with consumers and the trust that they need to place whether the product is correct.
Yeah, I think that's really well put. I mean Arnav, actually, like whenever we talk, I think I always learn something new. So you really give us some really good insights throughout. So yeah. Also, Arnav bhai, one other question for you is, what industrial and technological uses do you see in lab-grown diamonds today, and in the future? Because as we know, like, diamonds are used for drilling, for many industrial uses, and we definitely see it moving towards like a technological side as well. So, I mean, do you see any use for that? Any use today where we can use lab-grown and
Sure.
further use?
Sure. So the largest opportunity, I think, for the world actually with lab-grown diamonds is in the semiconductor space as we know it for today. Whether it's for aeronautics, for spaceships, for spacecrafts, for satellites, whether it is pure semiconductors used in cars for the future, electric cars for the future. The semiconductor industry, we've seen chip shortages over the last few months. So this is a product. I mean, a diamond is one of the best semiconductors. We are not scientists, I know, but semiconductors are used in most of the electronic items that we have today. And so today with lab-grown diamonds, we can produce plates of any sizes. They need to be thin because all they need is the semiconductor properties. And so unlike in a gem quality diamond, when we need to make jewelry, we need to make it like a round diamond or a something that refracts. In the semiconductor space, you don't need refraction. All you need is a wafer thin piece of material, which is called diamond, to help the semiconducting of to help the electric circuits to go through. And that's going to be one of the strongest uses for lab-grown diamonds going in the future. Like you said, Prithvi, drilling equipments, there'll be much more. I mean, diamond is the hardest substance, one of the hardest substances known to man. Now there are more man-made other substances, but still diamond is right on the top of the list there. And that's going to be used a lot more, and because it's going to be available much more in more quantities going forward.
Okay, that's really good to know. Any other uses that you feel, Tehmasp bhai or Dipu bhai?
You have a lot more innovation coming in the jewelry industry now also. People are trying to use the CVD process for watch dials. Yeah. So a lot of things which previously you could not do are now coming in the jewelry industry as well as the semiconductor space. I'm sure in the industrial process also that there's a lot more uses now being thought of as technology and prices are continuing to come down. So it's an exciting future for lab-grown diamonds that I see going forward.
Okay, wow, that's very good. So we do see like a very bright future for lab-grown diamonds, it seems. So yeah, yeah, definitely. And I mean, two big companies, Star Blue Jewels and ORRA, like, spearheading this. I think it's a great thing, and I think IGI has really put up a lot, done a lot in the lab-grown space in terms of identification and lab-grown diamond jewelry. So I think that's a very, very good thing that is done. And Along with that, the transparency issue has actually been taken care of, I believe. So yeah, so perfect. So that's all the questions that I have for you. I think now what we can do is we can have the Q&A. We have quite a few questions from some attendees. First question that I have for the panelists is from Somesh. He wants to know the difference between irradiation versus lab-grown diamonds.
Sure. So, see, first, there are quite two different things that we're talking about. Irradiation is something that we're using atomic energy, I mean, from what I know, to alter the structure of to create different outputs. So what do we use irradiation for in lab-grown diamonds? I would tell you is to create different colors. And I don't know how the science works behind it, but it is a process that post the diamond is ready, that there are different wavelengths that are put in to create a change in the structure to give a different output in refraction.
Yeah.
So that's what irradiation is. Lab grown is something that you're creating the diamond.
Yeah.
And so irradiation is a process post. It's a post finish treatment. It's a treatment process, and lab grown is a growing process. I hope that answers your question.
I'd like to add here, like this is a treatment, to enhance the original substance, whether it is lab grown or natural, to enhance certain properties where you can enhance probably the color or the change of color or certain things in the original substance to enhance the quality. So mind you, it is a treated product. It can be a natural treated product, it can be a lab grown treated product, but it's a treated product.
Definitely.
So that is the difference basically. And tomorrow there can be other aspects where you can enhance the product. So all such, see, it's a technology based product. Okay, so technology is going leaps and bounds now. So it's obviously like going to take seed. The product gets better and better.
Definitely. Perfect. Great. So so also as this answer was going on, there was a poll running. So we will also be showing the answers of the poll and for the panelists. So like this, the panelists can actually know a bit more about the audience. That'll be on the screen. So the next person is asking, please elaborate on the resale aspect of lab-grown diamonds. I think Dipu bhai, you were talking a bit about this. If you would like to elaborate a bit more on that.
So resale is it's a need that in India people are asking, and resale value also determines the value of what you can charge basically. So I think both have natural and lab grown have both resale values, because if you're buying it from the right place and which has the right policies and transparent policies like ORRA or a lot of the organized players, both have resale values, because you can go back to the retailer and say, look, I'd really like to give this stone back or this piece of jewelry back, and I'd like to get my money. And if that policy is there with the retailer, both will have a good resale value.
See, the thing is, what I would like to add here is, every jeweler or every self-righteous retailer will give you the buyback policy. And that is to give you confidence that, he's not giving you anything which is not worth it. Now, for a lab grown, you're buying it for a lesser value, you'll get a lesser value.
Yeah.
Back. For natural, you're paying a much higher sum and you get a equivalent higher sum. Okay. Yeah. But having said all this, 0.101% of the guys come to sell it back. It's negligible virtually.
Yeah.
Okay. However, upgradation is there. Like, you may have a 1 carat stone. Tomorrow you want a 2 carat stone. So you can trade it.
Yeah.
That happens. Today you have a 50 carat jewelry necklace or something. And tomorrow you want to add, or you want to make a new design and you want to add a few more carats. Yes, that happens constantly. Okay. But sheer buyback, I have seen very, very little. Unless you're in real dire straits, you don't want to really palm off your jewelry or your diamond, Gold is a commodity. So, gold is like, you can accumulate the gold and, you can redo it. It's a commodity. So you can get your value at the current prices. But where diamonds are concerned, very few people, I don't see anybody, really speaking, Am I correct, Dipu and Arnav? What do you say? Because you guys are in the business.
See, I think I would just change that a little bit. I would just say that like we see gold, let's say it's passed on for generations, whether it's natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, it's passed on for generations. It is forever. So at the end of the day, if somebody does not like that the design their jewelry is sitting in right now, let's say their grandmother's 2 carat or diamond ring, they always have the option of changing it to another design. So I think like gold, like you mentioned, how gold is changing its form, that people take the gold, will make some other kind of jewelry. I think it applies to natural and lab-grown diamonds as well. Yes, you are right that a lot less people are coming to trade in or sell back their diamonds, but we've seen that happening in a mature market like Japan, for example, quite a bit. Even America, quite a bit. That they give it to the pawn shop, so they try to sell it back to. It could be their grandmother's ring or something, and so there's always going to be a certain percentage, and as more and more consumers have it, there will be a greater percentage. But on the other side, we need to create the demand always, which is a much larger. Our global population is increasing. We had 1 billion people in 1900, and today we just touched we touched 8 billion people. Look at the scale at which we've grown. There's always going to be more diamonds needed than what is coming back, even if everybody wants to give it back. So let's see that as a positive, and try and the other thing of lab-grown diamonds, let's not make it a one-time purchase. And why should it just be associated with engagements? Why not like your Gucci handbag that you buy every year, a handbag or shoes or lifestyle products, clothes? Why not make it a lifestyle luxury product? And these are the opportunities we have. And so let's not look at it as a commodity like Tehmasp said, like gold, that we are buying it as an investment, and look at it as a lifestyle luxury product. And if we treat it in that manner, that's how the consumer is going to take it.
See, the other thing is, when you buy a share certificate, you cannot hang it around your neck. You buy a diamond, you make an investment, it's for your future generation. And also you can wear it, you can adorn it today, and your next generations can adorn it later. Share certificate, you're going to keep in your safe,
Yeah, that's true.
Or in your portfolio.
Perfect. So the poll results came in, and most of and around almost half the people deal in lab-grown diamonds, which is a very interesting fact about this webinar. So bouncing off of that, one person called Ashish Shah, he's actually asking how to convince a customer to buy a lab-grown diamond, because I'm assuming he might be in that case. So.
Do you need to convince a customer? I don't think you need to convince a customer.
I think you need to educate them.
Yeah, you give him the detail. The choice is his. The choice is not ours. Transparency is ours. Transparency is ours. You give him the details. Like, I'll tell you one. It's a personal thing. It's happened to me. A niece of mine in London was getting married. She wanted a diamond. So instead of buying her budget was around $5,000, $6,000 or pounds. I don't remember now. Instead of buying a 1 carat low clarity, low color, she got a 1.6 high clarity, high color. Okay. This was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, her husband gives me a call and says that, listen, and all the doctors in COVID made a lot of money. So he said, I want to gift my wife a natural diamond. Now the poor guy is out for a lead. Why? Because he cannot go lower than 1.6. He cannot go lower than a VS. He cannot go lower than a G or an F, you know. So he ended up buying a 2 carat, high clarity, high color, which cost him an arm and a leg, you know, which is good. So what has happened is it is upgraded. See, once you are at a particular level and, you know, lab growns are going to set your standard. Today you buy a lab grown, which is a larger rock, which is good color and good clarity. Okay. And then you want to buy a natural, fine. Otherwise, you will end up buying a higher and a larger lab grown. You understand? So what lab growns is also creating is an upgradation in your status. You know, you want to buy a big rock here, you buy a lab grown. You see all these rap artists and all these Hollywood actors and, you know, all these guys, a lot of them, and all these sport personalities are going on for lab growns, big rocks, you know, and they're Spotifying it that this is a lab grown diamond, and they are very proud, and, you know, and that is actually creating the awareness for lab growns. No, so I see lab growns going a long way.
Yeah, I mean, on lab growns, I'm not sure of, and because I'm not a producer of lab grown diamonds, but I'm a retailer. From what I understand, lab growns, you know, disturb, you know, the carbon emission and or the carbon footprint of a lab grown diamond is less than, am I right, Arnav, in that than a natural mined diamond, the carbon footprint?
It's quite a technical discussion. So we can discuss. I mean, there is yes and no. So where I would say yes is, let's say if you're mining, yes, the carbon footprint is higher. If you are mining from, for example, like in Namibia, we're getting more alluvial diamonds, you know, probably the carbon footprint is less. But what you can do as a organization and a company is something very different. You could do both natural and lab grown and be carbon neutral. You could be environment friendly by investments and making greenfield projects with using solar energy to fund whether your mining operations or your growing operations. That is a company's prerogative and company's decision. And that's what makes you eco-friendly, rather than making a statement of that lab-grown diamonds are eco-friendly or they're not eco-friendly. And I think that's for each individual company and organization to decide what path they want to go in for. But yes, I mean, Dipu, like you said, currently, if we only were using energy as a metric, probably you could say then digging up the earth, because that's also displacing soil, etc. We're creating more damage to the earth. You're right about that. It's not even about the carbon neutrality, but we're creating damage to the earth. Yes, so from that perspective, yes. But there are so many metrics today in place to assess what is eco-friendliness or carbon neutrality, you know. So it's the companies and what they decide and how they want to treat it. On the other side, what Botswana, for example, has done for its people in the mine country, it's phenomenal with mining diamonds, you know, and they've uplifted animals there, uplifted the human population there, you know. So it's a kind of gray area that I don't think we should take as a product, but we should rather take that position as a company and an organization.
Yeah, definitely.
Both have equal arguments or defenders for this, you know. And this debate can go on. You know?
Yeah.
But we are in the business of transparency. and giving the consumer what he or she wants.
Definitely. So, so we have we have a question from Moksh. So the price of lab-grown diamonds, I'm assuming, is decreasing every single day. So how do we stop it, and how do we make the market more stable?
If you can answer that, people will love you. No, but the thing is, no, what I'm trying to say is that in any new product and any technologically driven product, do you remember we used to carry a mobile 30, 40 years ago, which was a 2-in-1. I used to call it a 2-in-1. It used to be a piece for communication and it used to be a weapon. If you throw it at somebody, that guy is gone. Those were the big mobiles. Today, you have smaller mobiles. Now you have smartphones, so it's a very debatable thing, So technology driven, I mean, there will be a price. I mean, there has to be a settlement. Today there is a lot of turmoil. When Krishna churned the ocean, a lot of dirt did come up, and after that there was peace. So currently that turmoil is happening, and then there will be a natural level which will take place, and then things will carry on.
Yeah, an equivalent.
Yeah.
Perfect, great. Also because of so we have Virandan and Ashish also asking, because of lab-grown diamonds entering the market, would the natural diamond prices fall? And and also, like, but like how would people accept that?
Let's go to economics 101. It's demand and supply. I think let's stop focusing on how much market share lab grown will eat of the natural diamond business. Like I told you, less than 1% of the world population owns diamonds. Let's try to focus on the 99% for lab grown. There's a huge opportunity. I'll give you an example. The headphone industry, like we used to hear from a Walkman, CD players. Nobody looked at it as an industry a decade plus ago. And then you had influx of Bose and Apples and all coming up in the last 10, 15 years, coming up with $500 earphones, $200 earphones. And suddenly you have a $80 billion industry. Apple sold $30 billion of of AirPods. And think about it, we are not even that size of an industry at B2B level for natural diamonds. So look at the opportunity. I don't think that headphone industry was even $3 billion 2 decades ago. So the opportunity is vast. Let's get the consumer, and lab grown will allow us to get that next 99% of consumer.
I agree with Arnav. Yes, you're right.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
There is only 1% of the population of this world is owning a diamond. I mean, look at the 99%. Yeah, you just take 5% and you are 10 times over.
Yeah, definitely. So we have a question from Palash. What will be the status of natural fancy color diamonds, since lab-grown fancy color diamonds is such a big price disparity? And how will lab-grown fancy diamond color diamonds be priced, as there is no reference price as such?
Arnav.
What is the price of the Mona Lisa? No, I'm asking a simple question.
In
is
real
it 200 million, 800 million, 1 billion, 5 billion? We don't know. So the fancy colors in natural diamonds are extremely rare as of now. And it's all because it is that rare. The prices of it, for example, the pinks, the vivid blues, the reds are astronomical. And but the Mona Lisa, because today Leonardo da Vinci doesn't exist, the creator of it doesn't exist, so Mother Earth did not create that, there will be a different value to it, because you can identify, as Tehmasp said, as long as you can detect that there's a difference between a laboratory grown diamond and a natural diamond, there'll be two sets of people. Somebody who wants to have a natural product which is so rare that nobody else can replicate it, and there is somebody else who can adorn their walls with a photo of a Mona Lisa or a painting redone by somebody else of the Mona Lisa. You know, so it's all about what is the aspirational value of the consumers. And so I do believe that prices, especially of that end, might even go up because of the rarity factor for natural diamonds. And lab grown, still, yeah, very good point. Because nobody knows that natural diamonds exist in different colors. Most of the world doesn't even know it exists. It will be a bigger challenge for the lab grown industry to create a demand for the fancy colored diamonds. Although it's a huge opportunity, it will be a steeper slope to climb because consumers don't even relate a diamond to be of different colors other than white.
Definitely. So we have someone who's asking, do you think natural diamond jewelers can start selling lab-grown diamond jewelry in the same store without anyone questioning their authority?
I'd like to answer that. As long as you have the identification there, as long as and you give the right product to the right person, saying that, you know, someone who says, I want a lab-grown diamond, you have the right identification in terms of, you know, certification. I think you can, and we've seen that in the US as well. US retailers are taking both natural and lab grown in the same space. But the assurance is that I'm giving you the right product. So that goes with the identification through a laboratory and a certificate saying that you're buying what you're buying. So as long as that's there, the confidence is there. Yes, both can exist and coexist in peace and harmony.
See, actually, at a retail place, you can retail both of them distinctly. You know, I mean, you don't have to hide if you want to sell lab growns and you are in the natural business. Hiding is non-transparent. You know, when you tell the consumer, okay, I have both, you know, and this is the price for this, this is the price for this. The choice is now yours, but both the choices are available at my store. The thing is, you need authentic equipment, scientific expertise to distinguish between. The last 1 hour, the three of us have been establishing the fact that it is extremely important to differentiate, because differentiation is extremely difficult. So there is no cheapest way. Cheapest way, I can take a diamond. This seems like a natural.
No, so Tehmasp, I think they might be asking from a different perspective. Is there some kind of equipment they could possibly have at their store so they could do that? But I think you answered it very well that I think it's not just the equipment also, but the person who's
yeah, he has to have the
experience to and expertise to do it.
Yeah,
Definitely. So we have a person, Sachin Patel. He's asking, if all consumers buy only from well-established retailers, then how can a newbie become established in this industry?
You write piggyback on a certification. I mean, you have your newbie having his jewelry certified by IGI. He's got the authentication. What's the problem? Now that depends on his marketing now, you know. So it depends on one's ability here. When you assure your client that this is a properly authenticated product, and if you give an IGI certificate, it adds value. Now you use your marketing skills, you use your other operational skills to market it to your customer. I mean, lab-grown is a newbie product. So what's the problem?
Definitely. Sam, does IGI certify lab-grown diamond jewelry currently?
Of course. I mean, we are actually, I can put IGI as the pioneering force in giving authentication to lab-grown diamonds.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Great. So we actually have a lot more questions. Attendees, please, if you have your questions, you can definitely email it to us, and we will forward it to the panelists. So I think we've concluded this panel discussion. Thank you for sharing, panelists. Thank you for sharing your valuable time and expertise. This has been a
Sure.
very insightful discussion. I think everyone's learned quite a lot from this discussion. And we would also like to thank the audience for being an active one throughout the session. And we hope that you enjoyed it and use this knowledge to your advantage in your respective businesses. If you have any further questions, you can email it on info@gematlas.com, and we will forward the same to the respective panelists. Again, info@gematlas.com. So yeah, please do email us, and we will be sending it to the panelists. Thank you and have a great day. Thank you, panelists. Thank you.
Thank you.
attendees.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.